Hello, Barack.
Hello, George.
What's new in the White House?
I want to help all women receive the kind of health care that they need.
That is a good and noble task. How are you proposing to do that?
My administration is mandating that all institutions insure their employees, and those who provide insurance must cover contraception, sterilization, and abortion-inducing drugs.
What about institutions with religious affiliation that may object to such practices because of their conscience?
Ha, 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 ha. I've found a way for the federal government to decide which institutions are religiously affiliated and which ones are not.
How did you do that?
The government has decided that the only institutions that are religiously affiliated are churches, synagogues, and mosques. It does not matter if a university, school, charity, or hospital desires to be religiously affiliated. The government has decided for them.
How can you do that?
Don't you know? I am the government, and the government has absolute power.
But that is not what this country was founded on. This country was meant to protect religious liberty, not to destroy it. The founding fathers like myself saw in Europe that when the church has power over the state there are problems. But we also saw that when the state has power over the church, there are even more problems. We desired to create a nation that protected everyone's religious liberty. We desired that people would be able to express their faith with freedom and defend it from impositions of the government. Do you not realize that you are going directly against the foundations of this nation? Who is the government to tell an institution whether they are religiously affiliated or not?
I personally do not care, because this is what I want.
But what makes our country great was the fact that we guaranteed religious liberty. We guaranteed a separation of church and state, which means not only separating the church from the state, but also separating the state from the church. The state has no right to force people to go against their conscience. This is what America was founded upon. We wanted people of faith to be able to express their faith in the public square and to inform the government of what is right and wrong. Today, it seems that people are trying to keep people of good faith quiet in the public square. But this is not what the founding fathers and I wanted. We wanted people to be able to have religious freedom and the freedom of speech to express their faith while having a government that protected and promoted those freedoms indiscriminately. Do you think that the government has the power to force a Jewish deli to serve pork because it believes everyone should have access to food?
I do not get your point.
My point is this. A faithful Jewish man does not, according to his conscience and belief, think that people should eat pork. Do you think that the government has the right to force him to sell something he does not believe in?
But what if I found a study that says that 98% of Jewish people eat pork?
98% sounds terribly high. How would you find that number?
Well, if I decided to do a survey on Jews who were not practicing their faith and have purchased non-kosher foods within the last 3 months.
Ha! That statistic is a joke then. Even if there are Jews who eat pork, it does not change the fact that that is a belief of the Jewish religion. The government has no right to tell people to violate their conscience about something they believe is ethically and morally wrong.
But this is not what I am doing. I am providing women's health care.
You are forcing religiously affiliated institutions to pay for things that they believe are ethically, morally, and religiously wrong.
But I do not believe that contraception, sterilization, and abortion are wrong. I believe they're good.
So are you saying that you are America's religious and moral leader?
I am. Aren't I?
No. This is why there is a separation of church and state. The state is not meant to dictate what people of religious faith believe and do not believe.
The only people we are offending here are the Catholic bishops. Why should the Catholic bishops force their beliefs on non-Catholics who work for them or come to them seeking help?
Listen, I am not a Catholic either. I do not agree with a lot of what the Catholic Church teaches. But the bishops, as spiritual and moral leaders of their church, have the authority to teach what they believe and to ask their institutions to follow the teachings of their church, especially on areas that they believe violate their conscience. They are not forcing their beliefs on anyone. Anyone who comes to them seeking help or who is one of their employees chose to come to them. It is you who are forcing your beliefs on them.
But 98% of even Catholic women have used contraception at one time.
Where did you find that statistic?
We did a study on Catholic women who have had sex within the past 3 months, who did not want to get pregnant, who were not pregnant, or who were not postpartum. Then we also heard that 2% of Catholic women use natural family planning and subtracted that from 100%.
So you did not ask a lot of women who are living by the teachings of the church. You did not ask women who are abstinent before marriage. You did not ask women who have just had children, who are pregnant, or who want to have children. You did not ask women who are religious sisters. This statistic is a joke. But again, the statistic does not matter. If 100% of people have leaked at one point, do you think then that the church should get rid of the commandment, "Thou shalt not bear false witness"? Because the majority of people have broken it. It's a teaching of the church. They should have the freedom to teach and expect their institutions to follow it even if certain people do not.
That is a good point. But I think that women should have access to birth control so that they can be helped.
Birth control can lead to a variety of health risks: permanent infertility, blood clots, heart attack, increased chance of breast cancer, if a woman is promiscuous, an increased chance of cervical cancer, reduced libido, weight gain, mood swings. It can also cause an abortion if an egg is released and then fertilized. Are you sure that you want to help women and aren't just exploiting them to promote your agenda? But again, the issue is not contraception. The issue is about religious freedom.
Well, I made an accommodation so that the hospitals, universities, charities, and schools do not have to cover contraception, sterilization, or abortion-inducing drugs. Now the insurance providers have to cover it.
A lot of Catholic organizations are self-insured. They cover the cost of insurance, so your accommodation means nothing, and you know that. It means that Catholic organizations will still have to pay for practices which they believe are wrong.
Well, I do not care.
It seems that you do not believe in religious liberty.
I do, but only in the freedom of my own religion, not in the religion of others.
Then you are going to ruin what made this country so great.
That may be true, but at least I can dance.
Well, America, I hope that you decide to do what is best for this country. Barack Obama is threatening religious freedom and in fact is threatening the very foundation of America. This is how all regimes have started in the past. Do not forget the past, but look to fascist Italy, communist Russia and Cuba, Nazi Germany, and see what happened to people of goodwill when the state began to chip away at religious freedom. Restore America by opposing this mandate and protecting the freedom of religion.